Hey guys, Chart Stoppers back with another video. In this channel we take a look at different stocks and map out their key support and resistance areas on their chart. It's important to know these areas before you buy any stock, and it's also important to know what kind of a trend a stock is in before you buy into it. Support and resistance is one of the most important things you should know about a stock before you either buy or sell. And also, if you're doing any day trading, swing trading, or options trading, you're definitely going to want to get familiar with this channel. Now, just to let you know, I'm not a financial expert. These videos are for educational purposes only, but I am here to point out key factors on the charts which do impact the price action of a stock. I also provided a link for Webull. You could use that to start an account and get 2 free stocks. And I also provided a link for Robinhood. You could use that to start an account. You'll get 1 free stock. And those links are in the description below if you need to use them. And just to let you know, I will be doing 3 videos per week on 3 different stocks. So if you have a recommendation for a video, leave a comment below and I will try to get to it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and have your notifications on so you don't miss out on any new content here. Okay, so let's get into the market. Today is September 5th, 2021. It is Sunday. The market is closed today, and it will be closed tomorrow in observance of Labor Day. But as you can see on Friday, the S&P 500 finished the day down just a little bit, 0.02%. It was pretty much flat on the day. The Dow finished down 0.21%, and the NASDAQ finished up in the green, 0.17%. So pretty much a flat day on Friday. And hopefully this week, although it is a short week, we will have some momentum and everyone will be in the green here. So let's get into the stock I want to go over today. Today I'm going to be covering Fuelcell. I've done one video on this one in the past. I'll provide a link in the upper right hand corner. You should be seeing that now. And you could go back and check that video out to see how I got to where my chart is today. But looking at Fuelcell, on Friday it finished the day at $6.13. It was down 30 cents on the day, or the equivalent of 4.67%. In the past week, this stock is down a little over 2%. Over the past month, it's pretty much flat. It is down a little bit, 0.4%. And in the past 3 months, this stock is down 38.97%. So almost 39% in the past 3 months, this stock is down. Okay, but in the past year, it is still up over 138%. So if you got in a year ago, you're still sitting very well with nice profits. But if you got in recently within the past 3 months, you have seen this stock take a huge nosedive over the past couple months. And as you could see, going back to around November of last year, this stock was trading under $2 before it really took off and shot up in price here. You could see it shot from around $2 in value to a 52-week high on February 10th of $29.44. And you could see here, you know, it just pretty much just went straight up on the chart. Not a lot of consolidation on the way up. So that's how you know that there will be, you know, a downward action after the price run up there. If you don't see consolidation on the way up, you know you're going to have it on the back end when it goes down. So that's what happened here. We did have the correction in the NASDAQ in the middle of February to around the middle of May. So around a 3-month correction we had, and that's where we saw this stock drop from almost $30 here to a low right, let's see where the low is, of $5.68, and it hit that on August 19th. So not even a couple weeks ago here, we saw this thing hit the low, and it is still trading around those lows right there. You could see, you know, the correction really ended. A lot of these stocks in the NASDAQ bottomed out on May 13th here. And this stock was trading at a low of $6.80 on May 13th. You could see it went a little bit lower to $6.42 on May 11th there. So that should have been the bottom, because mostly for most stocks in the NASDAQ, that's where they bottomed out. But this one has been hitting lower lows and lower highs ever since then. And I think I talked about that on my last video. It was maintaining a support level around that area, but since then it has dropped below that area and it keeps dropping lower. So let's get into the chart here and see what we could find on the chart. You could see I have a support, or it is now a resistance line at $27.80, around, that's going to be $28 right here. We've never seen this stock close above $28, and if we want to see this thing make new highs in the future, we're going to need to get above this line here at 28, close above there, and hold if we want to see new highs. But going down our chart, we saw our first support line right around $18.50. That did hold up on the way up a little bit. It was former resistance, and on the way back down, it did not really hold up. We blew through that, and now that was acting as resistance. As you could see, after the first bounce on the way down, that acted as resistance. Okay, so we're going to need to break that area in the future on the way up if we want to see this thing continue with momentum to the upside to move on to new highs. So that's going to be a key area in the future. If we do get back up to that area around $18.50, keep an eye on that. That will be resistance. Going down our chart, you can see I have my next support line around $12 here. And that was support as this stock was falling from those highs. You could see we had a nice bounce off there in the beginning of March here. We went up to that resistance level of $18.50, and then we dropped down again, hitting that support around $12. We had another bounce, not as big as the last one, before selling off again through that support level. So we lost that $12 support, and once we lost that, that turned into resistance. And as you can see on the way up, that was acting as resistance also, as we had a little bit of trouble on the way up, breaking through that $12 mark. So that's also going to be a huge price point in the future. If we see this stock gain some momentum, we're going to need to break that $12 area. And we weren't able to do that back in the beginning of June. You can see we had a nice little run here, traded up to that $12 level before selling off again. And we dropped to our next support line, which was right here around $6.50. That was a former support area on the way up. You could see we had a little bit of consolidation here before we had a huge run up there around $6.50. And now that was the bottom in the middle of May here. When everything else was bottoming out, this hit that $6.50 level, and we had a huge bounce from there, almost doubling in price, going up to that $12 mark right there before selling off again. And it looked like, you know, we were going to consolidate along that support area around $6.50, but we ended up losing that support. You saw we had a small bounce here, and this was in the beginning of August off of that support before we fell below there, and now that is acting as resistance, that $6.50 level. So it looks like we're kind of stuck under that support, just right under there, and we can't seem to break that to move on to that $12 level. So keep an eye on that. That's going to be a very big price point here, $6.50. Keep that in your mind there, okay, moving forward, because we need to get above that desperately if we want to see this thing break out of this downtrend. Now, looking at our chart here, you could see this clear red line that is representing our downtrend. And that is the trend that we've been seeing, this thing hitting lower highs and lower lows as we've been moving along this support line down here around $6.50, and now we are stuck below there. And also another thing to point out is when we lost our 200-day moving average right over here in the beginning of June, you know, we've steadily been going down ever since then. And also we lost our 50-day moving average during this correction, and the 50-day moving average here in the blue line, you could see that has been acting as strong resistance for this stock on the daily chart. Every time we get up to that 50-day moving average, it seems to get rejected off of there. We did, you know, bump up above that for a couple days here back in the beginning of June before we dropped back below there, and we haven't been able to get above there ever since. So that is acting as strong resistance, this 50-day moving average. So if you're trying to trade this right now, you know, I would be going long until it gets to the 50-day moving average, and then you could open a short position for the way back down if it does keep getting rejected off of that area, because that's a very large resistance area for this stock. Also looking at our chart here, We have our 21-day moving average here in the light blue, and that was also acting as resistance too, along with the 50-day moving average. You could see it's pretty clear here that we were stuck below that one, the 21-day moving average. We popped up above there briefly when we tested that 200-day moving average before falling below there. And ever since, we haven't been able to really get above there except for a couple days here in the beginning of August. So that's also something to keep an eye on too, our 21-day moving average going forward. Those are going to be very big barriers for this stock, as you could see as I zoom out on the chart. Look at the volume here on the bottom of the screen. Look at how big it was here when the stock was running up, but you could see a steady decline here in volume for this stock. So not a lot of interest in trading this stock as we're moving forward here. So, the interest has dropped off, and we're going to need that volume to come back eventually if we want to see this thing get some momentum behind it and try to break through these barriers that I've been talking about. So let's take a look at our 4-hour chart, see what's happening on this one. And as you can see on our 4-hour chart, our 200-day moving average here in the yellow is the one acting as resistance on our 4-hour chart. So before we get to that daily chart, we're going to want to be looking at our 4-hour chart for the breakout above this 200-day moving average, which would be our 50-day moving average on our daily chart here. Because as you could see, that is acting as strong resistance, just like our 50-day moving average was on our daily chart. So before we break through that 50-day moving average, we're going to want to see a clear break of this 200-day moving average on our 4-hour chart, before we could move over to the daily chart for a confirmation of the breakout here. So keep an eye on that moving forward. We're going to need some more volume here, like I said, as it consistently has been dropping down ever since the big run-up last year at the end of the year. Also, we are coming up to a very critical point here because we are about to run into our trend line here. And as you can see, it looks like our 50-day moving average on the daily chart, this blue line here, this dark blue line, is about to cross through this support area around $6.50. So if it does drop below there and cross through there, that could mean more downside to come if it does not break above that 50-day moving average. And we'll go back to the 4-hour chart to show you a clearer picture with the 200 on the 4-hour chart, the 200 period moving average. You could see it's about to cross our support line. So if it does not break above this 200 period moving average on our 4-hour chart and it maintains below there, we are going to see this stock keep driving lower and continue to follow our downtrend all the way down to our next support line, which is at $3.65. That is where the former breakout happened here. That was former resistance, and that will now become support in the future here if we do continue to drop. So we could be looking at another 30% to the downside if you are looking at the risk to reward with holding this stock. Okay, so I would definitely be waiting for a break of this 50-day moving average to the upside to get into a position with this stock right now. If you're looking to get in, I would not buy for a long-term position until a break of that 50-day moving average here in the blue on our daily chart. And also, going back to our 4-hour chart, I would wait for the break of the 200 period moving average on our 4-hour chart here in the yellow. So first, I would need to see a break of this, the 200 period moving average on our 4-hour chart. And then to confirm that, I would be looking for the break of our 50 period moving average on our daily chart to confirm the break of the downtrend and a clear reversal back to the upside. So for a short-term position, like I said before, if you're looking to go short with this stock, wait till it gets to that 50 period moving average here on the daily chart and enter a short position, because it has not shown that it has enough momentum to break through that yet. So that would be a perfect short entry. And if you're looking for a long entry, I would wait until a clear reversal is shown on the charts for me to enter a long position or a long-term position with this stock. So hopefully I made myself clear with that one. Hopefully you guys agree with me, and hopefully you guys like the video, most importantly. And if you did, make sure you hit that like button because it really helps me out, really helps out the channel. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and make sure you have your notifications on so you don't miss out on any new content here. I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next time on Chart Stoppers.